I hear a lot of people talk about how will AI impact the market in the next couple of years for agents. It has the potential to make a lot of agents basically redundant.
Michael Magee, a huge welcome to the Rebel Agent podcast.
Thank you, David.
I feel this has been a long time coming. We're finally
You've
here.
been working on me for a while.
You were complaining I didn't close you properly.
You're not a closer. I'm joking. You are a closer. You like softly closing is your approach.
I'm not going to argue with you. Yeah. There's lots to get into today. You've had a lot of success here as a real estate agent in Dubai in the couple of years that you've been here, particularly in off-plan, so we'll get into that. But perhaps you could give a little bit about your background and we'll take it from there.
How far do you want me to go back?
Go back to last couple of years in UK, Ireland, maybe.
Okay.
Or your background there.
I started my career in 2003 in property. I set a commercial finance brokerage up, and just at the time when my wife was having our daughters, and it was a great time actually. But setting a business up with a young family was challenging. But we had fun. We grew the business to a fairly successful size, and then 2008 happened, which was the credit crunch, and I had to readjust and refocus on a different direction. I approached one of my previous clients and biggest investors, and we decided that there was an opportunity to set up a mezz fund, lending money to property developers. And so I then went from being a broker to a lender. I toured the country, up and down the UK, lending money to businesses, developers, investors, and it was great fun. Absolutely amazing. So taught me a lot about the business and gave me an incredible network, which...
And I would imagine that's really helped you now with what you're doing, that side of things, the investment side of things.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've been on both sides of the fence really. I've brokered, I've been a lender, and then I went into development. So 2015, I did my first development, which was 20 apartments in central London. Oh. So it was definitely a jump into the deep end in terms of development, but it was great. It wasn't without its challenges, but it was an incredible time to be in London developing property. We did that for 4 or 5 years. We did probably 90 apartments in total, and 30 townhouses in Ireland as well, in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
So not far from where I live or where my family live. That was a joint venture. And then I got caught out on a project which was quite a big project in London, which made me sort of take a step back and realize that what was going on in the UK was not as it wasn't as an attractive place to do business as it used to be. Everything from planning laws to dealing with the councils to, just the cost of debts. It was challenging, and the rising cost of construction as well. Yeah. So, and then COVID happened, and I took a big step back. I paused, and I'd been coming out to Dubai previously, and decided I'd make the move. So I did, and here we are.
I totally agree with you with the UK and the difficulty for businesses, particularly smaller businesses. I would say that's the case. And you were doing all that with a relatively young family, weren't you? So
yeah, I mean the girls had grown up. That was I came to Dubai when they were 16 and 18.
But when you were doing your development in London,
for sure.
Development work.
Yeah. But stressful times developing. Interesting. I would do development in Dubai. It's a completely different setup here. Yeah. So much more in favor of business and the flexibility that the government give you here. It's incredible, and that's why the economy is growing so fast, and it's why Dubai is such an attractive place to do business. So.
Yeah, and we'll get into that more as we go on. So you moved out to Dubai. Where was the first? You went into real estate. Where did you work first?
Started at House and House, what an incredible company to work for.
Yeah, well, I've had 4 of their guests, and
You're a big fan of House and House, aren't you?
Yeah, great company.
Yeah, look, great company. I wouldn't say I was hugely successful at House and House. I did a couple of deals, and being honest, it's a great company, and I'd admire what they've done, but it didn't suit my style of business. I wanted and needed flexibility to be able to work in any area and do various different types of deals. And while I am a big supporter or believer in niche and niching and being a specialist in an area, just the way I was getting business was very much through my network in the UK and the type of deals I was doing. I didn't want to pass those over to somebody else.
You're a very independent guy, aren't you?
Yeah, and
entrepreneur.
You have to, and I think you have to be. You have to have a niche in Dubai to really set yourself apart, right? And so my network was bringing me opportunities from all over, and I left House and House and went to a smaller agency that did give me that freedom and flexibility. And I was there for a year.
That's Phoenix, yeah.
That was Phoenix, yeah. So on the 80-20 model, which was good. They gave me the freedom and flexibility to do the deals that I wanted to do. And then I met you.
So we'll get onto EXP in a bit. It's interesting though with Phoenix, because you did have that flexibility, and I saw, because one of the directors there is Miles Bush, correct?
Yep.
And I saw him on another podcast, and he's well respected within the sector, isn't he? I mean, he's not everybody's cup of tea, but on this other podcast, it was with Sylvia Aldwari, and she was asked about brokers at Phoenix, and he picked out 2 brokers, one of which was you. And, so that obviously worked well for you there.
Phoenix, I can't criticize Phoenix. They have a great setup. They've been extremely successful, or they're successful, let's say. And their model does attract a certain type of broker, and that is a very entrepreneurial style broker. So for me, it was a great move from House and House to Phoenix, and it suited me well. But a lot of agents join Phoenix and then either make the move to set their own agency up, or they look at a lot of agents either stay at Phoenix and then set their own agency up.
Use it as a transition.
Absolutely. And that's what I've done.
Yeah. So then you came across to EXP, but meanwhile, while you were still at Phoenix, you got involved with Quintessentially, the concierge brand.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Quintessentially is a global concierge business that was set up in 2009 by Ben Elliott, and it's regarded as the sort of the original and quintessentially the original concierge business that looks after high net worths from all over the world now. A great business to be a part of. I own the rights to operate Quintessentially Estates in the UAE in Dubai, and it's been fantastic. It's introduced me to some incredible clients, some really amazing opportunities, and it's very exciting to be part of the global network that Quintessentially have.
I think it's also important to highlight there that they're very selective, aren't they? So for them to pick out you as somebody that can operate this model in Dubai, that's a huge vote of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think for me, the brand and everything they stand for, and the network that they have around the world, it just makes sense, right? Yeah. To offer Quintessentially Estates and all of the things that we do to our members globally. Dubai is one of those places that people are coming to in high volumes, right? We all know that there is such a huge influx of high net worths coming to the region, and those high net worths have demands and needs, and Quintessentially service those needs. Everything from whether it's travel accommodation, whether it's from, getting last minute tickets or being invited to unique events that, a lot of us don't hear about. So from that side of things, it's fantastic. And so, I look after the members' property needs. I help them with everything from rentals to buying investments, or even just advice. It just depends. So there's a lot of very exciting things in the pipeline. Probably can't talk about them, but there's a lot of very, very interesting things.
Do that on the next podcast when it's all announced.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but so it's really, another way of putting it is for people that are cash rich, time poor, perhaps.
To give you an idea of what Quintessentially do, they have a membership service that provides a lifestyle manager at your beck and call.
Right.
And there's various different tiers. But, in a nutshell, you've got somebody who looks after everything that you can ultimately want as an international traveler, or indeed just as somebody who has very little time because of their business needs or their business pressures or life pressures. We've got very high net worths right across the board, and the company's growing both here and Saudi as well. So there's a big focus on the Saudi market. Lifestyle concierge is a growing market, and it's exciting to be part of.
Yeah, it's great that you do that. Okay, EXP. So we met. I pitched EXP to you.
We met at the DLD training, didn't we?
We did. I didn't realize we would go back that far. And on the subject there, not wishing to flatter you too much, but the thing that stood out for me there was you were picked on by the training guy to do practicing cold calling, which we're not meant to do. So
it wasn't a cold call; it was a warm lead.
A warm one. Yeah, let's call it that. But he picked on you, and you just I remember thinking, oh no, how would I handle this? Well, I wouldn't have done. And you were brilliant.
Well, I wouldn't say I was brilliant, because I remember that position, and I think I remember thinking I'm in front of maybe 150 brokers here now to really put on a good performance. But I remember thinking I could have done that better. But yes, it was
it's not what he thought or I thought.
Well,
or any
thank
of
you,
us thought.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. I mean, it's I've been in sales my whole life.
Yeah.
Like from I was 16, I was selling stuff out of my car boot, my mum and dad's car boot sale.
Don't tell me what.
No, just junk. But whatever. But I've always loved interacting with people.
Yeah, and the great thing with you is you do that alongside the authenticity and the integrity that you've got as well. So it's a strong combination.
Yeah, thank you.
So I pitched EXP to you. Do you want to just sort of talk about EXP and how you found you've been with EXP now? What since
6
the
months.
end? 6 months is it already?
5 or 6 months, yeah.
It's
coming up to 6 months, yeah.
I'll tee this up for you. What are your thoughts on it?
Hate it. Absolutely hate it.
You're going to resign.
Yeah, look, I think everything happens for a reason, and I do believe that the time I spent at House and Phoenix was very valuable. But I do sometimes wish I'd have joined EXP a lot sooner. I do wish you'd have closed me harder. But
We're back to that.
I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming you. No, so EXP is genuinely the best model for an experienced agent to be part of, in my opinion, in the market right now. Don't get me wrong, there are lots of very good companies out there.
Yes,
and there's lots of very good models out there. And I'm seeing more and more moving towards a similar model to EXP.
It's inevitable, isn't it?
It is inevitable, because the way that it works now, it's about the agent and the agent's brand, right? And it's about how you create a brand for yourself. Now, that is what EXP allows us to do. It gives us complete flexibility, complete freedom, and it gives us the tools of having a global company behind you to support you and to give you the resources and everything that you need to be successful. And a lot of people talk about or I hear a lot of people talk about, how will AI impact the market in the next couple of years for agents, and I think it has the potential to make a lot of agents basically redundant. I think there is going to be a cull of agents, not right away, but over the next 2-3 years, and the speed at which AI is impacting the global market it's bound to have a market on the real estate market, or bound to have an effect on the real estate market in Dubai. But if you have a good agent and you have a global company behind you with tech-based resources and tech-based tools and the freedom and flexibility that EXP gives you, I think you stand a very good chance of surviving the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the real estate market.
It's interesting that you mentioned the personal branding, because I don't think I've had a guest on this podcast for months that hasn't talked about personal branding, and EXP is set up so well for that, as you say. EXP is very much about the agent, it's agent-centric, and it's not so much about EXP. Now, in terms of transaction volume in the UK, it's the number one agency month, but already
from setting up in 2019?
End of, which is quite incredible. But still, most people on the street haven't heard of EXP. People within the sector, within real estate, have heard of it, of course, and that is because it's all about the individuals. Yeah. And so, move across now to Dubai. That's how we operate, isn't it? It's about Michael Magee or David Allen or whoever, not so much the agency, in my opinion. And we're set up perfectly for that.
Yeah, look, it requires you to put yourself out there. It requires you to have, as we talked about, a niche and a marketing angle for you to generate business. But if you're not doing that already, then you're on very thin ice, I believe. To build a sustainable, solid base for a business, you need to, as an agent, whether you work for a big company or not, you need to be using your resources to push your personal brand in front of clients as much as you can, and build that trust and that reputation. And I think that having a model like EXP, where it's 80-20 with a cap, so that you're capped at 100,000 dirhams in terms of what you pay the agency, is a huge opportunity for agents.
That's it. It's taking what we've talked about, the 80-20 model, which EXP is as well. Because if you are doing more on the personal branding, it's not ideal, is it, working for a company where you're on 50-50, but you're still doing quite a lot of your personal branding. So this is where the 80-20 models work well, but EXP, as you were just about to say, sorry, I interrupted, but EXP take it that stage further, where they've earned 100,000 dirhams from you. So you've done 500,000 dirhams in any one calendar year. Yeah. You're then on 100%.
Yeah.
For the top performing agents, that's massive.
I mean, it's just a no-brainer. It just doesn't.
And you're there already with your, in less than 6 months. So now your commission is 100% on all your deals.
Yeah, 100% on all my deals, or more or less 100%. I think it's about 96, 97% after you take the transaction fee. But and when you're selling villas at 15, 20 million, or you're doing off-plan transactions, and it's tax-free. That's very, very attractive, right? And more agents are waking up to the fact that this is a model that is going to be around for a very long time. And then combine it with the revenue share.
You've got 8 agents who are on the brink. They're either just joining doing their paperwork.
I've got 8 agents with potentially another 2 more coming on board, who are in the final stages of getting everything set up.
Yeah, and why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. They're all good agents. They're all experienced. They're they've done plenty of business in Dubai. They're easily capable of doing capping, doing $500,000 plus a year, and and that's what I'm looking for. More agents who have the ability to generate their own leads and bring in business, but and bring in significant business, because ultimately, it's such a powerful model whenever you're billing that it just makes total sense.
And you'll obviously benefit financially from the commission that they generate, not from their commission, but from the EXP section of it.
A bit like you're benefiting from my
yeah.
My
Thanks
sales.
for joining.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't have any responsibility. I don't have any overheads. Yeah. I don't have any visa issues. Or I don't have any staffing issues. I'm literally building a team of like-minded agents who are out in the market closing deals, and their success is helping me create a passive income.
Yeah, and then when they bring on people, you
likewise,
benefit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to benefit from the people you bring on, and it just goes down 7 levels. So, and it's a sustainable model. It's been going since 2009. Copied from other models like Legal Trust in America. They've been going since 71. So some people look at it and they question the sustainability of it.
Well, look, I think what Glenn Sanford has done is. I can imagine what it was. There was a lot of growing pains in the first early years. Absolutely, and a lot of skepticism. Yeah. But what he has created and the model that he's created for agents is, and they are always improving it as well. Yeah. So it's. I think the model's proven without doubt. It's now a matter of. Seeing what happens internationally. That's the next big focus. We've just opened up Egypt. We've just opened up. Turkey. So any Egyptian or Turkish agents that have got a network in those countries, consider joining EXP, because there is going to be massive opportunities in those countries. We've opened up in Japan, or we're about to open up in Japan
this year. Yeah.
Yeah. And Peru as well, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. So that'll take it up to 29 countries. And what I just say to people is, for an agency that started in 2009, that's gone from 0 to 89,000 agents worldwide, just ask yourself the question, how has it done it?
Yeah. How is that possible?
How is that? Do a bit of research, and then, the penny or the fill is going to drop, isn't it? And that's how it's done it. I want to be part of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's... the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah,
exactly. When you look at what EXP builds globally and the growth that it's experiencing, the numbers speak for themselves.
And if you look at some of the deals that you've done, they've come from that global network.
My second deal at EXP, I got an internal message on our internal chats, which is like a WhatsApp messenger chat that we have just for EXP agents. And it was a Canadian agent reaching out to me who had a client that was interested in buying in Dubai. I jumped on a video call with them within 4 or 5 weeks of back and forwards of sharing different opportunities or different projects. We settled on a Shoba project, and he bought off me over a video call. Delighted with everything how it progressed. It was such an easy deal to do. The agent in Canada was delighted, and in a way that deal kind of dropped on my lap, because he kind of just picked me out of I didn't go looking for it.
Yeah, because they can find us through the CRM.
They can find us through the CRM.
Or through the workplace, which is like Facebook, as you say. Yeah.
But I believe he talked to a few people prior to that, and I think he connected with me. But the point is that I didn't go looking for that deal.
Yeah.
If I did go looking for it, you can do as much marketing to EXP agents as you want. And so if with a clever approach to how you present yourself and how you market yourself to this global network of 89,000 agents, there is business there within the network like you wouldn't believe.
Because we got agent-to-agent forms, haven't we? Official ones that are EXP. So it's so
streamlined.
For agents in Dubai that are familiar with A2A, then it's just like that. But
it's so streamlined. I literally had a filled in a form. The head of the country of each country then co-signed it, and that was it. Nothing else needed to be done, and we just cracked on with doing the business. Likewise, I have a client in Oman who has a property to sell in London, and rather than lose it to one of the big agencies in London, I was able to put him directly in touch with Jonathan Wood, who's an EXP agent in London, very successful, and he looked after that client for me while I just literally passed it over to him. It was as easy as anything.
That's brilliant. Yeah. And I brought a few agents on now, and they all got similar stories of dealing with agents in other countries. I mean, you mentioned about having experience, and I think that is a good thing. But one of the guys, Manpreet, who's joined, he didn't have experience before, but using that network, he sold to a Canadian agent.
Yeah.
Yes, experience is preferable, but with this model, it does show that there are exceptions as well.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, we've done our best for EXP. Let's get on to your success, generally speaking, with whichever agency you've been with your off-plan sales. Which areas you like? Do you want to talk a bit about that?
So, Dubai is unique to any other city, I believe, in the world right now. There's nothing like it, and you only have to look outside to see the amount of cranes that are in the sky. So, to me, you have to be very strategic about where you invest, and I say to my investors, go where the government money is going, go where the infrastructure projects are going. I sometimes get clients come to me and they talk about, I've received this brochure and look at this community and what's it going to be like? What do you think? And it depends on the project, of course, but it's just on a brochure right now. It's desert at the moment. So compare that to somewhere like Expo City, where you have infrastructure already completed. You've got $8 billion worth of infrastructure invested in the region, in that area since 2019 when they started doing it. And you've got metros, you've got the exhibition center, you've got the mall coming, you've got all of these things around you, and they just have to build a residential. You can see exactly what's going to happen, right? You don't 100%. Need a brochure. You can go down there and look at. You can walk around the community.
It's done, isn't it?
It baffles me that people sometimes struggle with Expo City because of its distance away from maybe the marina or downtown. But as an investment, it's a solid investment. You've got 6 million visitors coming to that exhibition. Sorry, potentially 5 to 6 million visitors coming to that exhibition center when it's opened. I mean, where are they going to stay? Mm. There's literally a handful of hotels in that area that can service their needs. And it just makes so much sense. You've got a metro to the world's biggest international airport, one stop, with the amount of visitors that are going to come in and out of that
from
airport.
The new airport that's being built.
It just, and you've got everything there that you can go and look at it and see it. So for me, Expo City is such a solid, long-term investment for any investor. It's not the cheapest. You'll get cheaper investments in Dubai, but in terms of long-term capital appreciation, I think it's where I'd put my money.
And it is government-backed developer,
100% government-backed. So they are,
yeah,
exactly. They're gonna make it an absolute success. The government do not invest this amount of money into an area without knowing that they're going to make sure it's a success. So it's.
And when you talk about some people complain it's a long way out, I remember when I had my first spell out here, 2004 to 2007, I lived at the marina. Taxi drivers didn't know where that was. And a lot of people, that's too far out, you know. And that's the marina, you know. So fast forward a few more years, then that's going to be, with the new airport, as you say, that's going to be such a good project, I think.
You have to look at where your customers, your tenants are coming from, and why they would rent an apartment from you in that region whenever there are, or in that area, when there are so many other places to rent. And with so many visitors and so many headquarters of large businesses now relocating there, I feel you've got a ready stream of tenants lined up to rent, and dare I say it, quality tenants as well, because you know of the type of people that are going to want to live there. So it's it just makes a lot of sense to look at Expo as an investment.
Where else do you like? I know you like golf course views, sea view, water views rather.
Yeah, it's the old adage, isn't it, that you know invest with water views or golf club views. As a community, my favorite community right now is Sustainable City. I think what the developers have created there is a really unique living community that is so friendly, so many incredible facilities there that suit young families. It's really cleverly designed in terms of how the buildings are structured to maximize efficiency within everything from the way they're positioned in regards to the sunlight and the type of materials they use. So I think sustainable is, I hope to see more types of communities like Sustainable City springing up in Dubai, because it just ticks so many boxes for me.
Yeah, I'm less familiar with that. Is it just one developer doing the whole project?
Yeah, Diamond developer. They're I've been in. They've done a number of projects in the region, and they're now branching out into. Well, they've done obviously Sustainable City in Abu Dhabi, and there's rumors of them doing stuff overseas now as well. So, great developer and great product. And,
Where else do you like?
Well, I like Talal. I think Talal has a lot going for it. It's one of those master communities that's been really, really well designed. And you've got such a wide range of product there in terms of from townhouses right up to, 100, 150 million dirham mansions on the island. Talal has really set the standard, I think, for villa communities. And
what is it? Is it Lagoon? Is it?
So you got the Lagoon,
which it will be ready in a couple of years.
Crystal Lagoon, yeah. So it's shaping up to be an incredible community, and I think anybody who's bought there over the last couple of years has been very happy with their investment.
Do you think there'll be traffic issues around there? Or?
No, I don't think so. I think there's a number of different exits and entrances, from the way they've designed it, I think it's well thought out. It's just that entry price now. You start to look at it and think, okay, is this how much have we got left in the market before there's a cooling off? So and I think that actually we've probably got another year or two before things start to slow down, just because of the demand and the numbers that are coming to Dubai.
Well, exactly, and where you're from, where I'm from, UK and Ireland, things aren't great, are they?
I saw something yesterday, David, that the water companies are now putting up the cost of water is nearly doubled, right? 300 to 600 pounds a year for your water bill. And the amount of wastage these water companies have, it's insane. Then you look at the situation with everything that's happening in the UK. I just think there's just so many reasons for people who can make the move. What's
it like in Ireland? How does it compare? Is it slightly better there? Or?
Look, I think everywhere's struggling.
Western countries are, right?
I think everywhere's struggling. And Ireland is no different. Ireland has a housing crisis. There's just not enough property. And there seems to be no incentive for the politicians to fix it either.
Yeah.
But probably because they're all landlords. And
Right.
it
They're all
suits them.
part of the system, aren't
They're all
they?
part of the system.
That's the problem.
Absolutely. So
Landlords, lawyers.
yeah, and then when you look at the tax burden on people and every angle they get hit, it just you really do question, does it make sense for me to stay here for the next 15, 20 years? And so many people are choosing not to. I get so many calls.
Do you?
Most weeks I have a call from somebody in my network or in my phone book who knows that I'm out here, has seen, I've been here now for a couple of years, and reach out and say, look, I'm maybe not ready to move just yet, but what's it like? And looking at investments out here, because maybe they've got young children and they're not ready to make the move, but they could see it happening in 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it's on their radar.
It's on their radar.
And why wouldn't you move? There are reasons. There's, people have got family, they got friends back in these other countries, but the burden on people just in general is becoming so great that they're going to make that switch.
A lot of people are at breaking point. A lot of people are really at the point where they say, what is my country or my government doing for me?
Yeah.
And
it's sad in a way, isn't it?
It's very sad. It's very sad when you look at what's happened, but you can be sad about it, and or you can do something about it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's very easy to sit there and moan and complain, but you've only got one life. You need to make the most of it, right?
100%. Yeah. And then on the subject of how likely prices are to continue to do well, I just look at the fact that you look at the global debt, and the solution that governments and central banks come up with is just printing more money. That money has to go somewhere, and property has always always been an attractive investment for people with excess cash, isn't it?
There is no solution to the problem of global debt other than what the governments seem to think is the solution, and that is print more money. And where does more money go into? It goes into assets. And, unfortunately, that means that it's going to be harder and harder for people to get on the property ladder. And, I still think, though, that Dubai does represent good value, even though we have seen a lot of growth over the last couple of years. And even though not every investment in Dubai is a good investment, I'll say that, there is long term, this is such a strong market.
Yeah. And that's where somebody like you comes in, who has got that specialist knowledge to know where is a good investment here. So,
and it goes back to what I say. Be strategic. Be look at where the government are spending their money. Look at the community, because it's all very well. There's a lot of great small developers in the market, right? And they're building some incredible projects, but they're building them in areas where there are lots of other developers, and those other developers are all building great projects, but it's not like a community that's being planned as an overall master community. And for me, that's my first go-to whenever I'm looking at where to spend money. It's invest in a master community, or in a community that has infrastructure and government spending, Expo City is one of those places. There are others, but Expo City certainly ticks those boxes.
Well, you've given great insights in terms of real estate agency and real estate. Are there any other areas that you want to cover?
Had an ice bath this morning.
Yeah, I was gonna. You're still cold, aren't you?
I'm freezing. 0.9 degrees. It was I think it was the coldest.
Is that your record? Is that
it is my record? Yeah.
Can you go? Well, you can. It will just freeze, won't it? If you go below that.
It's hard to get in when it's ice.
Yeah.
But no,
well, psychologically, you can actually see the ice.
There was ice forming on the outside, on the inside of the bath. But I love them. I know it's
a lot of people into it now, aren't they?
Yeah, I do. It really gives you it sets you up for the day. I don't have them every day, but I love a nice bath, and I love the beach, and I love keeping fit. So that's me.
You've really embraced Dubai lifestyle, and you've had your daughters over, haven't you? And it's gone well.
Look, I think Dubai is a city that can eat you up and spit you out. And you have to approach it with caution because there are so many things that you can spend your money on here. It's so easy to blow your hard-earned cash at the end of every month and have a great time doing it. But actually, there is a unique opportunity, I believe, we are presented with right now in Dubai, and certainly for the next 5 years. And as real estate agents, if you're in Dubai, I think that you're in a unique position to really position yourself for the growth that this city is going to have over the next 5 years, 10 years. And I plan on being here for that length of time because and longer, because I just believe in the city. And that being said, I enjoy it as well, but I don't do any of the flashy brunches or any of that sort of stuff. I try and focus on the beach and health, and and I networking and enjoy. This weekend I was on the beach in Dubai Islands. We do a networking thing with a couple of South African entrepreneurs who created a club called the Coconut Club, and it's fantastic networking opportunity. We do exercise, we do Pilates or a workout, and then we jump in an ice bath, and then we have a networking event.
Fantastic.
So it's you got to make the most of your time here.
Great. Contact details. What's the best way for people to contact?
You can just
put it in the description, the show notes.
Yeah, just put it in
Michael Magee.
Michael
Dubai.
Magee Dubai, I think, is my Instagram handle, and on LinkedIn you'll find me under Michael Magee. So yeah.
Well, as we said at the start, it's been a while. It's taken a while to get you on, but it's been worth it. I really enjoyed
Thanks, mate.
that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a good chat, and I'm really pleased to see how your podcast journey has gone, because so many people start the podcast. I start the idea of doing a podcast and never actually finish it. But given the amount of podcasts you can do now, I think it's safe to say you're a genuine podcaster. You got another one in 20 minutes.
Can you send her in when you when you walk out?
So you're rushing me to shut up, basically. Right? Okay, fine. I'm delighted to see how well it's gone for you.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that.
It's great to see.
Nice words. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. But thanks very much for coming on today.
My pleasure.
I look forward to doing another one soon.
Thank you.
Thanks Michael.
Again. Thank you.